Thank you for joining us for The Drive Back, the movie podcast where we imitate our favorite thing to do after a movie, which is to talk about it on the ride home. My name is Garrett, and of course, I'm joined by my good friend and co-host, Adrian.
Yellow.
And today, we thought we'd do something a little bit different and talk about the Golden Globe nominations for 2021. So our reaction and our analysis of the nominations coming up on The Drive Back. As we said, we're going to be going over the nominations for the 2021 Golden Globes. I believe it's the 78th annual Golden Globes. Holy cow, there's been 78 of them. This is our first real video slash podcast devoted to award season. We haven't done one.
Yeah.
We didn't do one for last year. We're doing one for this year. What are your opinion on the award shows, like the Golden Globes, the Oscars? Like, do you watch them? Do you have fun with them? What do you do?
I think I watch them. This is definitely going to be an interesting episode for me because I'm definitely not someone that keeps up on it throughout the year. I know we talk on this podcast a lot about how there's Oscar grabbers that are specific purposes for that. And I can identify those films, but I don't keep track of that. I definitely will watch them when they're on. And I of course, I celebrate whoever wins and all those things. But for example, we'll probably go over it, but I don't know right now what the top best movies of the year are supposed to be.
Well, you're going to find out pretty quickly.
Yeah, so this is very fun for me as well because I just don't really keep up on this. So this is kind of a good way for me to keep up on it.
Absolutely. And the one thing I will mention before we really get into this is that this Golden Globes, we haven't got the Oscars yet, obviously. The Oscars won't be until April this year because they were delayed. But we'll get those nominations hopefully in the next month or two. But the Golden Globes is already it's making history. This is the first year that it is a majority female directors in the Best Director category.
Yes.
Which is
yes.
absolutely
I did hear about
giant.
that.
So I'm so glad to hear that and to see that. But we'll get there. We're going to start towards the bottom of the list. We'll get to the big ones as we get on.
Sure.
Starting with Best Foreign Language Film. So these are films in obviously a foreign language. You have Another Round from Denmark, which I believe has Mads Mikkelsen in it, which he's always great. La Llorona from Guatemala. The Life Ahead from Italy.
Wait, sorry. Are we just burning through? Or because I've seen La Llorona.
It's not The Curse of La Llorona.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That movie, I was saying if that movie made it onto this list, I'm upset.
The Life Ahead, which was from Italy. Minari, which is actually from the United States, but it's made I believe in Korean. And Two of Us from France. Now, I haven't seen any of these films. I don't think you have either. So
Thought I had.
Not really. There's not really anything we can really speak to on this one. I've just heard nothing but good things about Minari. So maybe that one will get some sort of award, hopefully.
How do you feel about a U.S.-made film in another language being awarded a foreign film award?
Well, I think the key word is in the actual language of the award itself. It says Best Foreign Language Film, not Best Foreign Film.
Yeah, okay.
It's not like the Oscars do foreign film. This does foreign language film. So I think it does count for that, which is unfortunate. I think with the Oscars, I think it could get into the Best Picture category. Parasite did. So
yeah,
and it won. So, but yeah, I don't think either of us can really speak to this. Maybe it'll go to Minari. I haven't heard of any of the other ones, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. But this will lead us into one where we definitely have seen at least two of these. Best Animated Feature Film. You have The Croods, New Age, Onward, Over the Moon, Soul, and Wolfwalkers. Now,
two of them. I've seen two.
Between the two of us, we've both seen Onward and Soul. I know you would say the same. I think Soul is the true winner in this category.
Yeah, that's actually, I think it's up for discussion on what they're going for. If they're going purely based on just animation technology, then Soul wins to me by far and ahead. But I really do enjoy the story of Onward. I think that movie always has a special place to me.
Yeah, and the only reason that movie didn't do as well as it should have is because it came out the week before we shut down. And I think it would have
Yeah.
done a lot better if it had more time in theaters.
Yeah.
But
Everyone I've shown it to loves it. It's just one of those things that they didn't see it.
yeah, we didn't really get a chance to. So
Yeah, now that you say that, I think that might have been the last movie I saw pre-shutdown because
maybe.
I saw it in theaters.
I'm trying to remember
Wow.
what the movie I saw was, but it's been over a year.
Yeah.
But the only movie that I feel like has any competition to give to Soul is going to be Wolfwalkers. Now,
Okay.
Wolfwalkers is from a small studio. I don't remember the name of the studio, and it's killing me. But they did a movie called The Book of Kells, and
That sounds familiar.
in another film. They're an Irish-based studio, and they do films based on Irish folklore. And they've from all the people who have seen Wolfwalkers and have talked about this studio, and I love Book of Kells. I think or Secret it's either Secret of Kells or Book of Kells. Either way, it's one of the best animated movies out there. A lot of people say that the studio is the Studio Ghibli of the West. That it is
Wow.
that good of a studio. So I do think that Wolfwalkers does give some competition to Soul.
We should
Obviously,
review it. It
we
sounds really
should
good.
absolutely. I don't know if it's available to rent or anything yet, or if you have to purchase it, but we'll be on
Sure.
the lookout because that'll probably be an Oscars baby as well. And we'll probably do an Oscars episode where we try and watch all the films that are going to be nominated. I think that's just
Sure.
important to do. But I think we both agree that Soul is the definite winner here, for at least from us.
Yeah, I think I'd hope as well. I think I agree with you, and I hope that it is. If it's not, it'll be very, very interesting.
Yeah, so hopefully that's what goes on. That's going to bring us to the Best Original Song category, which has a bunch of movies that I haven't seen yet. So the first one is Fight For You from Judas and the Black Messiah. Hear My Voice from The Trial of the Chicago 7. It's Seen is the English translation. I don't know the actual how to pronounce it, but it's from The Life Ahead.
Okay.
Speak Now from One Night in Miami. And Tigress and Tweed from The United States versus Billie Holiday. Now, again, I have not seen any of these films. The Trial of Chicago 7 is on top of my list, and I'll probably have to watch it sometime this week because I know it's an Oscars favorite as well. But have you seen any of these films?
No. I'm actually interested. So the Black Messiah movie isn't out yet. So how is one of the songs up
I think it
for award?
was screened for critics and for review, like press and all that
Hmm.
before award season. Because we'll get to it on later on the list. The Little Things is nominated for something as well, and it came out in end of January. So I don't know what the timeline is for the nominations on this.
Yeah, I think it's more my question is, can a movie now be nominated and not be out yet?
Um, for mass audiences, they do that all the time. For like the
Oh,
Oscars and
okay.
stuff.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize that.
If it's in
Okay.
limited release or if it's been screened already by these associations, then absolutely.
Well, I definitely know that Sundance Film Festival movies made it and stuff like that were in their own respective limited circle. But just as a blanket statement, I didn't know that you could win, and that movie have not come out yet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen anything on this list, so I can't say one way or the other.
Yeah.
And I don't remember any original songs from the last year that I would put on here. The score is a different story, but for original song, I can't really think of anything. So we don't have any
Yeah.
predictions for this at all. But that will bring us into another one, which is Best Original Score. Now,
Okay.
this one has got some heavy hitters in it. We have James Newton Howard nominated for News of the World.
I saw that.
Alexandre Desplat for The Midnight Sky.
Okay.
We have Ludwig Göransson for Tenet. We have Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross for Mank.
Oh.
And Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross, and John Batiste for Soul.
Yeah, I didn't realize he's up for 2. That's so interesting.
Yeah, Nine Inch Nails is up for
Trent
2
Reznor.
awards. For me, honestly, the easy winner here is Soul. Again, Soul had the best score of the year. In terms of the most diverse. I mean, between John Batiste and Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, it's two sides of the same coin. You can't have the movie without either one of them.
Yeah.
and it's just absolutely important.
I completely agree. I think the only thing that I would say is comparable, and I say this all the time, but I think if a soundtrack falls into the movie, or it just feels like it's part of the living, breathing world, that's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's not a golden rule, but it's kind of just something that I follow while watching movies if I think about it.
Yeah.
And News of the World was a fantastic film. We didn't review it on here. I saw it kind of on my own.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a really, really good movie, and the score kind of did just that. It built the world. So I could see that getting it. Also, Tom Hanks, just the star power in the film itself, maybe. But I can see it getting the score. But I guess if I had to predict one, I would say Soul.
Yeah, I would say Soul. If I had to pick one that I would want to win besides Soul, I would say Tenet. I think Tenet did have a good score where it was kind of like, that heartbeat kind of style, like it was pushing the tension along.
Yeah, the only thing about Tenet, we've talked about it, is that the sound mixing was just so crazy for that movie.
Yeah.
I thought something was wrong in theaters while watching it. Luckily, a theater near here opened up for like a week, and I was able to go with my girlfriend and see it, and it was so loud.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's a great score. I mean, obviously, it's a Christopher Nolan movie, great composer and everything. But I didn't really hear it because it just was really loud.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen the movie, so I can't really. Tenet, I've seen. Yeah, it's just that. I don't know why I was thinking News of the World. Yeah, Tenet's sound design was just all over the place. Like it was specifically during one or two scenes where it was very hard to hear.
Yeah,
but I mean,
I think maybe if I heard it with someone on YouTube makes an at 80% volume version of the film, I might be able to appreciate the score better. But the movie is excellent. But yeah, I think overall, I think Soul was just a whole package that was just incredible from beginning to end, and like you said, so versatile and unique, and accurate as well. The jazz was really, really good jazz from what I've read and heard.
Yeah.
And the music was top notch as well. So yeah, I think it's almost a shoe in.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's going to win. This will bring us to best screenplay. They don't do original or adapted screenplay. It's just best screenplay, apparently. We have Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman.
Okay.
Jack Fincher for Mank. Aaron Sorkin for The Trial of the Chicago 7. Florian Zeller and Christopher Hampton for The Father. And Chloe Zhao for Nomadland. Now, these are, again, 5 films that I have not seen.
Yeah, same.
From everything I'm hearing, though, I'm guessing it would probably come down to Aaron Sorkin for Trial of the Chicago 7 or Chloe Zhao for Nomadland. That's just from what I hear. I could be wrong. We'll see what happens.
If you had to pick one, which one would you pick as your fantasy movie league?
Like one that I would have seen nominated, or the one that I think will win?
The one that you think will win. Your prediction.
I honestly think maybe Chloe Zhao for Nomadland.
Yeah.
Just because everything I hear about that movie is like it's a near perfect movie. And I'm also very excited to see what she does with the Eternals for Marvel. So maybe that's why. But I know
this would be a great credit and kind of like a prelude to that. If she wins for this, my excitement for the Eternals will go way, way up.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, especially since she is a female Asian director, I think that the award season push for inclusivity might reflect in a win for her there. Maybe for director as well, but we'll get to those nominations in a bit. I would have liked to have seen the script for Defy Bloods on here, potentially, because I thought that was a really well done script. I mean, the film toward the end with the action scene was a little but like the actual like dialogue and everything was very well done. So
unfortunately, I think Defy Bloods came kind of at the beginning of the pandemic. I believe it's one of the first things we did.
June,
But so I think it kind of just got lost in all the content that came out at that time.
It's just very annoying because we'll talk about this when we talk about like snubs, but Defy Bloods has like no nominations. And I think that's
criminal. And maybe my reasoning is, that's what happened, is that kind of it was just everything came out at that one time. People were intaking so much content that people just were kind of like, oh yeah, I saw it, and it was okay.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, honestly. We'll see.
But this brings us into the best supporting performances for the year. So Best Supporting Actor, we have Sacha Baron Cohen for The Trial of the Chicago 7, Daniel Kaluuya for Judas and the Black Messiah, Jared Leto for The Little Things, Bill Murray for On the Rocks, and Leslie Odom Jr. for One Night in Miami.
Wow. I know I'd like to see Jared Leto win. We talked about this in our review of it, or our now streaming of it. But I mean, in Dallas Buyers Club, I'm not positive if he won Best Supporting or not.
He did.
But I think he's really talented, and I think he deserves that. I thought his performance was pretty good. The movie itself, as we kind of talked about before, but I mean, you can go listen to that review, but you can listen to it there. But I thought his performance specifically was notable, so I hope it's him.
Yeah, I mean, his performance is the only one I've seen on this list. I don't know if it's worthy enough to win for Best Supporting Actor. Again, it's the only movie on this list I've seen. The only other things I could speak to are maybe Sacha Baron Cohen for Trial of Chicago 7. And
wasn't the girl from Borat subsequent movie film supposed to be up for supporting actress?
We haven't got there yet.
Oh, I thought that's... What is this?
This is Best Supporting Actor.
Oh, actor. I see.
So, but I could see it going to Sacha Baron Cohen, Daniel Kaluuya, or Leslie Odom Jr. Those are the three that I see it for sure going to. I think Jared Leto's a long shot. I don't know about Bill Murray. I haven't even heard of On the Rocks, so I have no idea.
Yeah, me either. But I mean, if I had to put a token in, I hope it's Jared Leto.
There you go. We can all hope for something, right? This brings to Best Supporting Actress, which is going to be Glenn Close for Hillbilly Elegy, Olivia Colman for The Father, Jodie Foster for The Mauritanian, Amanda Seyfried for Mank, and Helena Zengel for News of the World. These are 5 movies that I have not seen. Again. Although I have heard that Hillbilly Elegy is one of the worst movies to come out of last year. I don't know why it got some awards love. Maybe Glenn Close was just fantastic, but yeah, that's all I can say, really.
I can say that the girl's performance in News of the World is really good, especially for a younger actress.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen the other films, but I could definitely see her winning for her performance. It was something that was pretty incredible to watch, especially such a, like I said, a young actress to do some of the things that happened in that movie. Was really, really impressive. So that's who I would pick. It's the only one I've seen, but that'd be my pick.
Gotcha. I haven't seen any of these. It could go any way. I don't think any of these supporting actresses. I think it's all white actresses for this. I don't know, at least from the name, if any of them are of any other ethnicity. But yeah, I don't know. I couldn't say either way. So let's go ahead then and go into Best Performance in a Musical or Comedy. Or actually,
okay.
Yeah, we'll do Best Performance Musical or Comedy first. So Best Actor for a Musical Comedy, we have Sacha Baron Cohen for Borat's subsequent movie film, James Corden for The Prom, Lin-Manuel Miranda for Hamilton, Dev Patel for The Personal History of David Copperfield, and Andy Samberg from Palm Springs.
Palm Springs is pretty good.
Palm Springs is also nominated for Best Picture, Comedy, or Musical. So,
yeah, it was Cassie and I watched that. It was really good. But I mean, how can it not go to Lin-Manuel Miranda for Hamilton? I mean, that took over the entire planet.
Yeah, I just have an issue with Hamilton being nominated for Golden Globes. Is that I don't like, because I watched at least part of. I can't, for some reason, I don't like a lot of stage musicals. Call me weird. I think they're cringy. Even if it's really good. It's weird. Okay. Like, my favorite musical of all time is The Book of Mormon. And a lot of the time, I still can't watch all of it because it's just incredibly cringy to me. I don't know. Going to high school around theater kids was something. But, so I have problems with Hamilton being nominated because it wasn't a movie. It was a recording of the stage play.
And is that not what a film is, though? A recording of...
But, like, it's the stage play.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree. He is good in it from what I have seen of the musical. So I think that performance is definitely, you know, good enough to be nominated.
But you
I
could also argue that like there's versions of Macbeth that are recorded stage plays that have gone down in history as great films.
maybe I haven't seen a single one or heard a single one. So
Oh, there's a bunch of renditions, and some of them. Who's the? I always forget this guy's name. Who's Picard? Star Trek.
Patrick Stewart.
There's one with Patrick Stewart that is literally just them on a stage, and it's like very movie-esque, dark screen, and just the action. But I mean, that's been a thing. So I don't. I get what you're saying. It is a weird thing to have be nominated, but it's also like maybe it's just one of those loopholes that if you record it, you can win whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. I think he would be one of the better choices to potentially win.
I think, yeah, that'd be my pick.
Either him or Sacha Baron Cohen, I think, could go away with it. Maybe Andy Samberg as well. I think James Corden and Dev Patel are kind of weird inclusions, but
Yeah,
you know,
Prom, that whole movie, what was it? Yeah, Prom, was just an odd film. I'm interested that it's nominated.
yeah. Well, I mean, maybe we'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
So, Best Actress for a musical or comedy, we have Maria Bakalova from Borat's subsequent movie film. So she got actress, not supporting actress. Kate Hudson for music. Michelle Pfeiffer for French Exit. Rosamund Pike for I Care a Lot. And Anya Taylor-Joy for Emma. I have to fully hand it to Maria Bakalova here.
Yeah, I think she definitely carried that movie. I mean, not carried it, but definitely played off of Sacha Baron Cohen in the best way possible.
She gave it a heart that I didn't think could be given to a movie like that. And I
Yeah.
think she also purely deserves an award just because she put up with Rudy Giuliani. So,
Yeah, seriously.
but anyhow, let's go ahead and move on. I think like, we both agree that she's the real contender,
Yeah.
here, at least from us.
I haven't seen any of the other ones, so
Yeah,
again, pick is based off the only one I've seen, so.
exactly. So, moving on though, for best director, this is the big category in terms of like the history making. We have Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman, David Fincher for Mank, Regina King for One Night in Miami, Aaron Sorkin for The Trial of the Chicago 7, and Chloe Zhao for Nomadland. This is very much a heated race. I feel between three of these nominees, at least from what I've seen in all the discussion online. It sounds like it comes down to Regina King, Aaron Sorkin, or Chloe Zhao.
Yeah.
And I do think it will go to Chloe Zhao for this,
For Nomadland?
or Regina King. Not because of the inclusivity thing, but I think those two films are so heavily talked about when talking about the award season for this year that I think it will be unavoidable that
Yeah.
one of them will win.
Yeah, sure.
So, any other input before we move on?
No, I haven't seen any of those films. And so I got nothing, but I'd say just even based off the conversation we've had prior to this decision is Nomadland is definitely a top pick. Something I want to see when it's available, just based off our discussion. So I'll shoe it in as a win too. I don't know much about it, but I'll pick it.
I do know that it should be available to stream soon, so hopefully we'll be able to actually watch it before the awards shows start.
Yeah.
But let's get into the last four nominations. We have Best Actor in a Drama Film. We have Anthony Hopkins for The Father, Gary Oldman for Mank, Tahar Rahim for The Mauritanian, Riz Ahmed for Sound of Metal, and Chadwick Boseman for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I can tell you who should win, and I can tell you who will win.
Okay.
Who should win is Riz Ahmed
Okay.
in Sound of Metal. He gave a flawless performance in that film and made it what it was. Who will win? Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
Um,
I'd agree.
Purely based on the fact that he passed away. And it's sad to say, he's a very talented actor. He's a very... we haven't seen Ma Rainey's Black Bottom yet. I know it's on Netflix, so we should be able to watch it. But just because of the legacy he left behind, I think he will win. I think, it's kind of falling into that same boat as Heath Ledger for Dark Knight, where I feel like he got a lot of awards attention because he passed away. in addition to the role being one of the best villains of all time.
Yeah, like I don't think Chadwick
But
Boseman doesn't deserve to be nominated. I'm sure the performance is incredible.
yeah,
It's just that people will lean that way because of the memory of him.
yeah,
And I don't even necessarily think that's a bad thing. I mean, I think that's people trying to honor one of the greats, and he really was. So I'm okay with it if he wins. I'm not going to be upset, but I do agree that Sound of Metal is definitely deserving of at least some award
yes,
during this whole process.
absolutely. And it's the only nomination it seems to get. So hopefully it kind of carries through. But speaking of other, they also put out the SAG Award nominations, which is the Screen Actors Guild, in set history because Chadwick Boseman is now nominated for 4 awards on that show. For Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, for Defy Bloods, and I think the other ensemble awards. And he's the only actor to be nominated 4 times in the same award show, and it's also posthumously. So,
Wow.
but yeah, I think Riz Ahmed is the one who absolutely deserves the award. But I mean, Chadwick Boseman will probably end up winning it, and that's not a bad thing. Again, I'm not saying it's a bad thing at all. It's just it's kind of predictable almost, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So moving on, we have Best Actress in a Drama Film. We have Viola Davis for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Andra Day for The United States versus Billie Holiday, Vanessa Kirby for Pieces of a Woman, Frances McDormand for Nomadland, and Carey Mulligan for Promising Young Woman.
Haven't seen any of them.
Head, it sounds like it's between Frances McDormand and Viola Davis. At least,
Yeah, Viola Davis is a powerhouse, so I can definitely see it going.
Absolutely, and I know Frances McDormand has been a favorite since the movie came out. Through the year, so it's kind of impressive. So hopefully,
power, yeah.
I mean, it hopefully just goes to the right performance. These are 5 movies again that I have not seen, so unfortunate. I feel
well, even though we probably watch movies more than most people, you still can't watch them. I mean, there's just so many films that come out every year.
Yeah.
And even during COVID, we had more than we could possibly intake.
We still have more than we could possibly do.
That's not, yeah, I mean, it's just, we're never going to see everything, and that's just a fact of life. As much as I'd love to, it's just never going to happen.
Exactly, yeah. So, but moving on, we have the 2 biggest awards of the night. Best Picture for Drama and Best Picture Musical or Comedy. So Best Musical or Comedy for 2021, the award nominations are Borat Subsequent Movie Film, Hamilton, Music, Palm Springs, and The Prom.
That's amazing. I'm really happy Palm Springs got nominated. Personally, and I guess unfortunately, I'm kind of bummed that Prom got in there. I personally heard not good things about it. So it's a little interesting that it made it. Maybe it's just based on all the content we got this year. But yeah, I mean, I want to say how could Hamilton not win just based off the cultural revolution that it caused and the effect that it's going to have on the industry and musicals in particular moving forward.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to see Borat win.
I kind of do too, just because of the political significance.
Well, I just think it'd be nice to have that win, like something that's so daring and bold and different that, I don't know, it'd be nice to see. But I think if I had to pick, I think Hamilton's going to get it.
I would say Hamilton or Borat. Yeah. I mean, Palm Springs would probably be a close third. Music, all I know is it was made by Sia, I think.
For
the film.
Oh.
It's like a film made by Sia. That's all I know.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I know. But yeah, I think it'll be Borat or Hamilton.
Wait, which one's made by Sia?
Music?
Oh, yeah, I have no idea. I don't know anything about that.
But now, finally, the last award, Best Picture Drama. We have The Father, Mank, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, and The Trial of the Chicago 7.
Wow, I thought for sure News of the World would get up there.
I am very disappointed in this category, personally.
Okay.
I feel like Trial of Chicago 7 was always going to be on there. Nomadland was always going to be on there. And while it's nice to see Promising Young Woman on there, which I've heard is a very good movie, I've never heard of The Father. And I heard Mank was one of Fincher's least good movies. So, like, It makes me upset because movies like Defy Bloods were a surefire nomination,
Yeah.
and also Sound of Metal really got shafted here.
Yeah, and News of the World I would throw in there as well. Those three I think could have replaced those other three.
Exactly. It's kind of upsetting. I mean, from these five, I can tell you it's going to be Nomadland or Trial of the Chicago 7.
Yeah.
Because those Nomadland's just been the favorite since it came out, and Trial of Chicago 7 was a Netflix film, which has been also just it's been widely available. People have been able to watch it. You know, Promising Young Woman I think was a theatrical release, quote unquote, and was released for rental later. And then The Father was again never heard of it. And then Mank was a Netflix film as well. So actually, two of these are Netflix films, which is very interesting.
Good for them. I mean, they figured out a formula and they're able to produce some really good movies recently.
Yeah, I don't think Mank would have come out on Netflix. I think it was probably one of the COVID purchases. But glad to see that it's getting some
Yeah.
sort of some award love. But yeah, it's going to be Nomadland or it's going to be Chicago 7.
Yeah, probably
Easy
Nomadland based off of tonight.
But at the end of the night, when it comes to kind of people or movies getting shafted, I do think that Defy Bloods was very, very much snubbed. Delroy Lindo has been talked about for getting awards nominations and has not received any, which is very sad.
Yeah.
Delroy Lindo played the conservative guy among the group. A lot
Yeah.
of people wanted him to get nominated. I was also surprised to see Chadwick Boseman didn't get nominated for his supporting role, which he was nominated for at the SAG Awards.
Yeah, which makes it interesting that they just like sweeped it out of the awards show. Like there's just nothing about Defy Bloods at all.
Yeah, and I don't know why it is. Maybe it came out too early. Maybe it wasn't good enough, which I would hardly.
I think it's just going to be. I think it comes down to that it was just lost in the margin of everything that was going on.
Yeah, it had to have been. Yeah.
I remember, like before I saw it, we maybe talked about it for like a week prior. Like, oh, it's coming out. We got to make sure we watch it. And then we talked about it, and then it kind of just went away. Like nobody talked about the movie. I didn't see anything about it.
Yeah.
It was just kind of over.
That's the one downside with Netflix films is they kind of go away after a week or two.
Well, once they fall out of the top 10, it's just they're gone.
Yeah, yeah. So, but also I think Sound of Metal's been shafted for a lot of awards as well.
Yeah.
I don't think it's one that a lot of people saw, but it's so gosh darn good.
Yeah, phenomenal movie.
My second favorite movie of last year, behind Soul. And the Golden Globes aren't necessarily the end all be all. The Oscars have more coverage in terms of award categories.
Sure.
The Golden Globes mix it with TV, so you kind of get less of an emphasis on film. So obviously, as the Oscars come out, we'll talk about that. How I think Soul deserves an art direction nomination, definitely. But there's nothing really else to talk about. We're not a television podcast. We don't talk about TV. It is cool to see that The Mandalorian is nominated for Best Drama Series. So that is cool. Good. It won't win, but I'm glad that it's nominated. It really brings us to the end of this look at the Golden Globes. It's kind of sad because we haven't really seen any of these movies yet. Hopefully we will over the course of the next month or two.
Yeah, but I think it's also important to understand that you can be into film or like film, and you don't have to keep up with the awards. Kind of also everything that was probably nominated for the Golden Globes is a very particular type of film.
Yeah.
And that's not gonna I personally don't really enjoy those most of the time. And I know you don't really like them either, especially when you can just tell they were built with the purpose of winning or getting nominated. But don't feel like, this is kind of us just saying like, we don't even watch all these movies. There's just so much out there. Watch the movies you like. And if they get nominated, that's always fun. We got a couple on here like Borat that's nominated, and that's really, really exciting. Mm-hmm. We don't watch everything. You can't possibly do it. So it's okay.
Yeah. This podcast wasn't created for the specific purpose of watching the best movies out there, and watching these Oscar-nominated movies. We watch the movies that we want to. We don't review all of the newest releases because that would just dominate the podcast. At that point, we've just turned this into a review channel on YouTube or something. But we want to talk about movies that maybe you forgot about, movies you haven't seen for a while, movies you may have seen and you love or hate, either way. Yeah. So, I mean, hopefully some of these are actually as good as people say they are. I'm definitely excited to watch Nomadland. I need to watch Trial of Chicago 7. I need to watch Mank. Hopefully these are as good as they say they are.
Yeah, we'll see.
So, but that's going to bring us to an end for this episode. Don't really know what's coming up next week yet, but you guys will know about it as soon as it comes out. So, Adrian, what do we always like to say?
Go watch any movie. Doesn't have to be an award-winning film, but it can win a Razzie. Yeah. You can still like it.
Yeah, go watch Battlefield Earth.
That would be fun if we did the Razzies when those come around. Our predictions.
Well, I mean, it's just gonna be Artemis Fowl.
That's what I was gonna say. Judi Dench is gonna win Worst Actress of all time, and it's gonna be a double award for her role in Artemis Fowl and Cats.
Oh, I forgot Cats. No,
it'll be the first joint Worst Actress movie award ever.
Cats would have been a 2020 Razzie nominee, not a 2021.
Was it a nominee? Do we know?
Probably was. I don't know. Who cares? The sooner we forget about Cats, the better. But anyhow, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Now we can actually say this on the podcast. We do have a YouTube channel now. So go ahead and make sure you subscribe if you're listening to us on a podcast app. If you're watching us here on YouTube, go check us out on Spotify, iTunes, all the podcast apps out there. The Drive Back comes out every Monday. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you on the next drive home. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Drive Back. Make sure to be on the lookout for new episodes every Monday, and make sure to follow us on social media.